we have seen the theoretical concepts of writing the Packer templates using JSON format, and then we have done the practical demonstration of creating an Amazon Web Services image AMI using again Packer template of JSON format. So now we are going to look into Packer template using HCL, basically HCL format, and we will see the theoretical concepts first, and then we will jump into the demonstrations. So Packer uses the HashiCorp configuration language, that is HCL, so which is designed to allow concise descriptions of the required steps to get to a build file. So this session or this slide describes the features of HCL2 exhaustively. If you would like to have a uh, quick if you want to have a detailed explanation and detailed information about HCL format, and go to the documentation of HCL, I'm going to show that. Okay, so let's begin with the builds. So the main purpose of HCL language is defining the builds and resources. All other language features exist only to make the definition of builds more flexible and convenient. So the most important aspect is Packer build. So Packer build takes one argument. So that argument, when a directory is passed, all files in the folder with a name ending with either .pkr.hcl or .pkr.json, either of which will be parsed using the HCL formats. When a file ending with .pkr.hcl or .pkr.json is passed, it will be parsed using the HCL2 schema. For every other case, the JSON only old Packer schema will be used. So you have these two extensions that we can use to save our template in Packer. So let's see the syntax of HCL language, which consists of only few basic elements. That is, it begins with a source. You can see that it's a block, it's a complete one block, and then that begins with a source, it's a block type, and then it consists of a block labels. Amazon EBS is one label and an example is another label inside that block. So the block opens with a curly braces, and inside that you will have an argument. So AMI name is the argument. So this is basically similar to the Terraform, because even Terraform uses the same language, HCL, HashiCorp configuration language. So blocks are containers for the content and usually represent the configuration of some kind of object like a source. So blocks have a block type, can have 0 or more labels, and have a body. This is the body that contains any number of arguments and nested blocks. So most of Packer's features are controlled by top level blocks in a configuration file. Then we have an argument inside the block or inside the container. So arguments assign a value. This is the value to a name, so they appear within the blocks. Then we have expressions. So expressions represent a value either literally or by referencing and combining other values. So you can give a referencing to the variable file. So they appear as the values for arguments or within the expressions. So then we will look into HCL comments. So we can add HCL comments here. So for that we use either forward slash, double forward slash symbol, or pound symbol, or a forward slash asterisk and forward slash asterisk. So either of these symbols you can use to add comments in Packer. So then we will look into the multi-line strings. Using this way you can do the multi-line strings can be attached to our def to our uh, to our template packer template file. So building blocks can be split in files also. So if you want to split into two different files, so this is sources.pkr.hcl, this is one file, and this is build.pkr.hcl, this is another file. So this consists of a source and this consists of a provisioner information. Still you can attach using this concept. Okay, so now so what will we do is we will go for the documentation and we'll go through it quickly, and then we will do some exercises. Okay, so provisioners, how to build. Okay, build an image. Yeah, here only. So I'll get it into the uh, templates, and inside the template HCL. So this is the overview of it. Consists of builds, arguments, blocks, and expressions. And then if you want detailed information about everything, you just go to the blocks. Inside the blocks you will get more information, so what kind of blocks you can have. So overview of blocks. So there are different types of blocks. The most important blocks can be broken into couple of major types. The first one is build. So what is a build? Build blocks contain a configuration for a specific combination of builders, provisioners, and post processors used to create specific image artifact. So a build block consists of specific information about all other blocks. And then you'll have a source block. Source blocks contain configuration of builder plugins. So once defined sources can be used and further configured by the build block. Source, we're going to see what is that. And then provisioner. So provisioner, it's similar to the JSON. So provisioner blocks contain configuration for provisioner plugins. So these blocks are nested inside the build block. Then we have a post processor. So what's the purpose of post processor? So post processor block contains configuration for post processor plugins, and then post processor plugin sequences. So they are also nested within the build blocks. So then you have a variable block. So variable block contains configuration for variables that can either be defaulted in configuration or set by user at runtime. So these are some of the blocks that we use widely. And then we have a config file, just to give an example, and you will save the file name as this variables.pkr.hcl. And then locals and more examples are attached. The source block, a build block, and there are a lot of examples are given. Okay, that's about the blocks. And now let's look into the functions. So it's in depth, so I'm not going into each and every aspect. You just go through it. So these are built-in functions. You can make your function like this: maximum 512.9, and then it will give you the maximum out of it. So in that you have a contextual functions, numeric functions. So it's similar to the apps, seal, floor, log, max. These are all built-in functions. These are Python. Let me click on apps. See, this is how it looks. Apps absolute function. It will give you the absolute value, though if you give the negative value. So po and minimum, maximum. So then we have a string functions. These string functions are to joint, indent, regex, title, trim space, upper, so all those things. And then collection functions, encoding, file system functions, base name, file exist. So by and large, this is way more advanced than just JSON format. So that's the reason now we are completely leaning into JSON, into HCL format, so that you have huge amount of functionality. You can see the path variables, contextual variables. Okay, that's variables, but you have seen the functions. You have a lot of functions. If you go to the IP network function, CADR host, you can see that. So to even to give the CADR host, you can use this function CADR host, and you mention the prefix and then host number. That's it. It's actually fantastic one. and then CIDR net mask directly prefix, and here you can mention the subnet even, CIDR subnet. So it's magical and it's fantastic and fantabulous. So HCL is very helpful. You have a lot of huge amount of functionality. Then you have type conversion functions like can, convert. You can use try. So convert function converts a value or an expression to a given type, that whatever type you want to convert, that can be converted into it. So it's like a proper programming language, not just a format, not just just a script type. It's a proper programming language which consists of everything. So let me come. So if you look into the overview, the main aspect is blocks, and we have seen the different blocks in it. Then it consists of functions. There are a huge number of functions, a default or inbuilt functions is attached with this one. And then we have variables. In variables we have different types of variables, and then we have a local values, contextual variables, data sources, and path variables, and then finally the HCL configuration syntax. So this is how it consists of. So you just go through this more and try to understand this, because it's very powerful tool. Because this HashiCorp uh, corporation, this company is absolutely completely, they're coming up with their innovative tools, and they're using their own configuration language. If you learn this language, it would come in, it would come to your rescue whenever is required. Okay, just go through this one. It's a fantastic documentation they have given. So you can see all the tools that are mentioned, all the components that we are going to use in the script in the HCL has been mentioned.